The desert air at Indian Wells was electric. The stadium was packed. Cameras were locked in. Millions of fans around the world were watching because something unbelievable was happening. An 18-year-old qualifier from the Philippines, Eala, had just stormed into the round of 16 of the BNP Paribas Open, one of the biggest tournaments outside the Grand Slams. And suddenly, the tennis world had a new story, a young underdog, a fearless competitor, a rising star who was refusing to be intimidated by the biggest stage in tennis. But standing across the net that day was another young force of nature, Noskova, powerful, composed, dangerous, and what followed next was a match that quickly turned into a battle of nerves, momentum, and pressure, with the entire tennis world watching. But what most people didn't see was the emotional storm building behind the scenes. Because for Eala, this wasn't just another match. It was the moment that could change everything. And what happened next left fans stunned. The rise nobody saw coming. Just days earlier, almost nobody predicted Eala would even make it this far. Indian Wells is brutal. The conditions are slow. The competition is elite. And the draw is filled with Grand Slam champions, top 10 players, and seasoned veterans. But Eala didn't care. She arrived quietly. No hype, no headlines, just belief. And then she started winning. First the qualifiers, then the main draw, then another upset. Suddenly commentators were asking the same question. Who is Eala? Tennis insiders already knew. The Filipino prodigy had been rising through the ranks for years. She trained at the prestigious Rafael Nadal Academy in Spain. She won the 2022 U.S. Open Girls singles title, and many believed she had the talent to become one of Asia's biggest tennis stars. But this was different. Indian Wells is where reputations are built, and Eala was proving she belonged. Social media exploded. Filipino fans flooded timelines with pride. Sports channels began highlighting her story. Headlines started appearing everywhere. Eala is the breakout star of Indian Wells. But the deeper she went into the tournament, the bigger the pressure became. Because success on this stage brings attention, and attention brings expectation. And that's when the real tension began. The opponent standing in her way. In the round of 16, Eala faced Noskova, another young star, another rising name, but with a very different style. Noskova wasn't just talented, she was dangerous. The Czech powerhouse had already made headlines earlier in the season by defeating Iga Swiatek at the Australian Open. That victory shocked the tennis world, and it proved something important. Noskova wasn't afraid of big names. She attacked. She played aggressively. She hit the ball with frightening pace. And on the fast courts of Indian Wells, that power could be devastating. Tennis analysts immediately noticed the matchup problem. Eala's game relied on precision, movement, and intelligent shot selection. Noskova's game relied on raw firepower. And that created the question everyone was asking. Could Eala withstand the storm? But inside the stadium, the atmosphere told a different story. Fans weren't just watching a match. They were watching the future of women's tennis collide. Two teenagers, two rising stars, two players fighting for the biggest opportunity of their careers. And when the first ball was struck, the tension was instant. The match begins. From the opening games, it was clear this wasn't going to be easy. Noskova came out swinging. Her serve was booming. Her forehand was explosive. Every shot landed deep and heavy. The message was clear. She wasn't going to give the young Filipina any rhythm. And the reaction was immediate. Within minutes, Noskova was dictating the rallies. Eala tried to counter. She moved beautifully. She constructed points carefully. She forced Noskova into longer exchanges. But the Czech star kept pulling the trigger. Big winners, sharp angles, relentless pressure. Commentators began noticing the difference. Noskova is playing with incredible aggression right now. But Eala didn't panic. She stayed composed. She kept fighting. She searched for openings. And for a moment, it looked like she might turn things around. But nobody expected what came after that. Momentum starts shifting. As the first set progressed, Noskova's confidence grew. Every winner energized her. Every hold of serve added pressure on Eala. And suddenly, the rallies were getting shorter. The points were getting faster. The crowd could feel it. Noskova was starting to take control. Eala tried to respond. She mixed in drop shots. She attacked the net. She used her left-handed angles to disrupt the rhythm. But Noskova's power kept punching through. It was like trying to slow down a train. And behind the scenes, the tension was rising. Because Eala wasn't just battling an opponent. She was battling the moment. Indian Wells, the round of 16, a global audience, and the pressure of representing an entire nation. Filipino fans were watching with hope. Sports commentators in Manila were calling the match live. Social media exploded with support. Come on, Alex. We believe in you. But on the court, Noskova kept pushing forward. And then, the first set slipped away. The turning point. Losing the first set wasn't the end. Not even close. Because Eala had already shown something important in this tournament. She was resilient. She fought back. She refused to give up. And when the second set began, there was a shift in energy. Eala started stepping inside the baseline. She returned more aggressively. She extended rallies. And suddenly, Noskova was being forced to work harder. The crowd noticed. Applause grew louder. Momentum began tilting. And for a moment, it felt like the comeback might be coming. But tennis can change in seconds. And that's when the real twist arrived. Noskova responds. Just as Eala began finding her rhythm, Noskova raised her level again. Her serve became even more dangerous. Her forehand started landing closer to the lines. She attacked second serves. She dictated every rally. And suddenly, the pressure returned. Commentators started saying the same thing. When Noskova plays like this, she's incredibly difficult to stop. The rallies were brutal, fast, explosive. Every point felt like a battle. But gradually, the Czech star began pulling ahead. Game by game, point by point, the scoreboard told the story. And Eala knew it. She kept fighting. She chased every ball. She pushed every rally. But Noskova had found her rhythm. And when a power player enters that zone, it's terrifying. The final moments. As the match approached its final games, the tension in the stadium was thick. LLS.
Fans knew what was coming. Eala was running out of time. But she didn't quit. She never stopped competing. Even when the odds were stacked against her. Even when Noskova's power seemed unstoppable. She kept swinging. She kept believing. But in the end, Linda Noskova closed the door. With another powerful serve. Another crushing forehand. And just like that, the match was over. Noskova advanced. Eala's incredible run at Indian Wells had come to an end. But what happened next was just as important. The reaction. Within minutes, the tennis world started reacting. Commentators praised Noskova's power. Analysts highlighted her composure. But they also talked about something else. Eala. Because even in defeat, her performance mattered. A lot. Making the round of 16 at Indian Wells as a young player is no small achievement.
It means you can compete with the best.
It means you belong on the big stage. And the media quickly noticed. Headlines appeared across sports outlets. Eala's breakout run ends at Indian Wells. Filipina rising star shows promise despite defeat. And fans agreed. Social media filled with praise. Messages poured in from around the world. Future star. She'll be back. Proud of you, Alex. But behind the scenes, the emotions were complicated. Because losing hurts, especially when you know you had a chance. But sometimes, defeat is part of something bigger. Why this match matters. This match wasn't just about a loss. It was about arrival. For Eala, Indian Wells proved something important. She can compete at the highest level. She can beat strong opponents. She can handle the pressure of big tournaments. And, perhaps most importantly, she now has the attention of the tennis world. Sponsors notice. Media notices. Top players notice. And that changes everything. Because the journey of a tennis star is built on moments like this. Moments where the world starts watching. Moments where potential becomes visible. Moments where a career begins to take shape. And Eala just experienced one of those moments. Meanwhile, Noskova's message was clear. For Linda Noskova, this victory sent a powerful signal. She's not just a rising player. She's a serious contender. Her aggressive style, her fearless mentality, her ability to perform under pressure. All of it makes her dangerous on the WTA Tour. And with every win, her confidence grows. Many analysts now believe Noskova could become a major force in women's tennis. And matches like this only strengthen that belief. But the story of Indian Wells is bigger than just one result. Because something fascinating is happening in tennis right now. A new generation is rising. Young players, fearless competitors, future champions. And Eala is part of that wave. What happens next? After a tournament like this, everything changes. Ranking points, media attention, opportunities. The spotlight grows brighter. But so does the pressure. The next tournaments will test her. Opponents will study her game. Expectations will rise. And every match will bring new challenges. But that's the life of a rising star. And if Eala has proven anything at Indian Wells, it's this. She's ready for the challenge. The bigger picture. Tennis history is filled with moments like this. Early losses, painful defeats, hard lessons. But many legends started the same way. Before the Grand Slam titles, before the trophies, before the fame, there were matches that shaped them. Matches that tested their resilience. Matches that forced them to grow. And this might be one of those moments for Eala. Because sometimes, a loss isn't the end of the story. Sometimes, it's just the beginning. Final message. Indian Wells gave us a glimpse of the future. Linda Noskova's power. Eala's courage. Two young stars battling on one of tennis's biggest stages. One moved forward. The other walked away with valuable experience. But make no mistake, the story of Eala is far from finished. In fact, after what we just saw at Indian Wells, it feels like something much bigger is coming. And when that moment arrives, the tennis world will remember exactly where it first started. Right here, in the desert, at Indian Wells.